students, in this section we are going to see what is BMI, Body Mass Index, and HDR, that is Human Development Report. So let's see in detail what are these two topics and what is it, how is it going to help in the developing of an individual and a country. Okay, so let's start with the topic. Now we are going to do Body Mass Index or BMI. Now BMI is also another criteria like public facility, like net attendance ratio to judge whether judge development. Okay, so this is basically for an individual. So body mass index is to do the comparison of an individual, whether an individual is developing in a better way or not. Okay, so what is body mass index? Now body mass index is an index, an analysis. And why is this analysis or that index is made? It is used to find a person, if a person is nourished, undernourished or overweight. Okay, so this is just an index which will tell the health condition of a person, whether the person is nourished, whether he is undernourished or overweight. So how do we calculate body mass index? Now we calculate body mass index by this formula where weight should be in kg and height should be in meter square. So you have to be very careful. If the weight is given in grams, then you have to first change it into kg and then you have to calculate. If the weight is given in centimeter, then also you have to change into meter square. Okay, so not very frequently, but then yes, at times you do get questions on BMI. So I have just an example over here. If a weight of a person is 60 kgs and his height is 4 meters square, 4 meters, so we'll just make it square. Okay, so that is 3.75. Now what does this 3.75 tells? Does 3.75 let us know whether he is nourished, undernourished or overweight? Yes, it will tell, but we have to learn another scale. So what is the judgment criteria? The judgment criteria is all people whose BMI is less than 18 will be undernourished. Between 18 to 25, they will be considered as nourished, and if it is more than 25, then it will be overweight. Now one thing that you need to remember is children, growing children are not involved in this BMI index. Growing children are not judged. Okay, so growing children are not judged by this BMI. So this is BMI. So this is not very difficult. It is very easy. I hope you have understood what is BMI. BMI, only thing that you need to remember is weight should be in kg and height should be in meter square. So this is one more criteria. Now the next criteria is Human Development Report. So we have done BMI, which is Body Development Report, Body Mass Report Index. Now we are going to do Human Development Report, HDR. Now Human Development Report, it compares two human beings and this will finally lead to comparison of two countries. Okay, so how it is done? It is done by UNDP. UNDP is United Nations Development Program. So UNDP, which is United Nations Development Program, UNDP publishes a report which is called as the Human Development Report, and it has listed around 188 countries in it. So it publishes report on 188 countries and it lets everyone know what is the development report of that country. So what is the function of HDR? So we can have the question in this way. What is the function of HDR? What are the functions of HDR? what is the benefit of a human development report, what are the advantages of human development report, what are the merits of human development report. These are the various ways in which questions can be framed on human development report. The answer will be same for all. So what does human development report do? Human development report, number one, it helps us to study a qualitative life of people. So it tells what is the quality of life that people are leading. Okay. Second of all, it compares two countries, and the comparison of two countries is based on the topics, educational levels, which means we have to see the literacy rate. It will have the net attendance ratio. Then on health status, which means infant mortality rate, life expectancy. So what is life expectancy? Life expectancy is the how long an average man lives. Okay, so I have written it over here. What is life expectancy? Life expectancy means how long in an average a common man lives. Okay, so that is life expectancy. Then we have the per capita income. Per capita income. Okay, now so we in our book we have a comparison done of Sri Lanka versus India. Now we all know that India is a big country, much bigger than Sri Lanka. But then Sri Lanka's human development report is much better. Its human development index of Sri Lanka is more than human development index of India. Now first I'll tell you what is human development index. Human development index, HDI. HDI is a analysis on which a report is made in sequence. So it's just a analysis in where report is made in sequence. Okay. So this HDI will of Sri Lanka is more than HDI of India. Now why is it so? Because India is much bigger country than Sri Lanka. Then how come a small country like Sri Lanka is having a higher HDI than India? That is because we have to see the other criteria. That means life expectancy in Sri Lanka is more. Okay. Then per capita income is more, health status is better, educational facilities is better, and that is the reason since the other facilities, other criterias of Sri Lanka are better compared to India. Therefore, Sri Lanka's human development report and human development index is more than human development index of India. Okay, so this brings us to the last point, that is you have to learn these terms better. I have already asked you to do it in my last session, where I have asked you what is net attendance ratio, what is literacy rate, what is per capita income. Now you have learned three new terms: body mass ratio, HDR, that is human development report, HDI, human development index, life expectancy, and so this is you have to learn it, because 1 mark question is for sure from this. Okay, now one small important topic which you have already done, I just want to put it into your notice. Now the World Development Report is published by the World Bank, which is based on the income, whereas Human Development Report is published by UNDP, United Nations Development Program, and it is based on the other criterias like net attendance ratio, literacy rate, infant mortality rate, life expectancy, so per capita income. So everything is involved into it. Okay, so this is two different reports. Now you have to be careful, please don't mix it up. World Development Report is published by the World Bank, and it tells the development of two countries on the basis of income, only income. Whereas Human Development Report is published by UNDP on the basis of other criteria plus income.